our distinguished guests, and indeed our science enthusiasts from across the nation. We welcome you to the grand opening of the BT Young Scientists and Technology Exhibition for 2025. Woo! And we are thrilled to see you all here in person today and indeed this year as we kick off a remarkable celebration of innovation and discovery.
Maar het wordt één van zijn waar gatefoutjes zag ik een BT olie agus technology ook na blina ik hoor fiha kuig ta aanhas een shipshalog a ekal an shot en jogs cohortigus o cree as gachten en shot shumra as an echt ta genta agi. Now, every year the highlight of this exhibition is welcoming our president, Michael D. Higgins, and his wife onto the stage. And in just a moment, we're going to meet them and Shay Walsh, the managing director of BT. But before that, Aidan,
we have a little something to show you as our special guests join us on stage. We are celebrating, would you believe, 61 years of the Young Scientists, and it's also 25 years of BT Ireland being custodians, organisers and sponsors. So we're going to have a quick trip down memory lane. Have a look at this. Brilliant. Wonderful memories.
And keep your applause going, because as you can see, we're joined on the stage now by Uachtar na Héireann, Micheál D. O'Higgin, his wife, Saiveen, and they are joined by Shay Walsh, the MD of BT in Ireland. Let's give them a huge round of applause.
Do you need a mic? Hey, you got that one there. That's your singing mic.
Hope this one's working. Oh, there we go. Welcome everybody to the 25th year of BT sponsorship of the Young Scientists and Technology Exhibition and the 61st year of the exhibition itself. You're all very, very welcome. In a couple of minutes' time, I'm going to come back on stage and give you a little pre-say about what's going to happen over the next couple of days. But first, I want you to give me all of your attention and give a huge rapturous round of applause, a welcome to the stage to give us the opening address of the 2025 BT Young Scientists and Technology Exhibition, Uachtar na Héireann, our president, Michael D. Higgins.
It's such a great pleasure to see all young people gathered and who are interested in science. And I have to tell you that I do want to offer my very best wishes to all of the students participating in this year's Young Scientist and Technology Exhibition. And I'm sure there are some who will have been disappointed that the weather made it impossible for them to attend, but I send them my best wishes And I'm sure that I know some of the schools, they have a reputation for excellence in science. And good luck to those who have filled the gaps. But I want to pay tribute to all of those teachers and parents who have been such an essential source of encouragement, and to all those who've been helpful in any way, parents, communities, Tris Liam Liv Galair. And this is indeed a very special, as you have just heard, a very special occasion for BT, because it's their 25th year in looking after this important exhibition. And I think, as well as that, I think about 180 of their staff volunteer to make it all possible, and I pay tribute to them. It's a very, very, very Tris Liam Liv. And I must say, it's a very, I've probably seen before I leave, it's a very, very long time, 60 years ago, when that brilliant idea just shows you the life of a brilliant idea. Dr. Tony Scott and Father Tom Bark, who established 60 years ago the idea of the young scientist. I'm delighted to have had the opportunity of having opened the young scientist. You notice I call it that because that's what it is known around the country in the schools. The young scientist is rather like, are you going to the ploughing? Are you going to the young scientist? But I'm so encouraged that this exhibition goes from strength to strength. 2,069 projects submitted to compete in this year's competition, and then from that 550 selected to go to compete here at the RDS. And I'm so pleased that in a special way that students from Austria and Denmark, Italy, Jordan, Kenya and Luxembourg are taking part this year. How often I think Tony Scott and I and others have said, science knows no borders. Firkin Folcherov, you are so welcome. And I welcome too the students from the 9 schools of Northern Ireland who have qualified this year. Congratulations to all who have made it to the competition. Agus auch gehorche messen scailina Reverend Chastel or School Guido. Those schools again, I say, those who weren't able to travel, my very best wishes to you. Projects this year cover a range of fascinating topics that are so important, including health, climate change, and ecology. And one thinks about these projects, they show a scientific curiosity, but also a range of new and adaptable technologies in these areas. Encouragingly, projects on the theme of environmental sustainability, including pollution, waste management, renewable energy, biodiversity and conservation, they accounted for a quarter of all projects entered for 2025. I look forward to seeing some of them later on today. At a more general and fundamental level, may I suggest that the future of humanity requires a science without borders, yes, but also one built on cooperation in the interest of humanity, something that is accepted as a shared responsibility. In relation to such an achievement today, I want to pose some questions to all of the young people and indeed to all of us gathered here today. Our scientists of tomorrow, as you will be, what is the appropriate place for science in society? To whom should its benefits primarily seek to serve? I suggest to you as well that the history of scientific curiosity is a very rich source. Ancient civilizations engaged with both abstract thinking and practical issues, including hydrology, astronomy and ethics and legal rights, such as the Code of Hammurabi. In many cultures, scientific curiosity drew contributions from the greatest minds, many of whom combined it with philosophy. Today, the role of social values in research, the neutrality of science in policy, the interplay between evidence and decision-making, the structures of ownership, their use and abuse and control are very much real issues. May I suggest to all of you that as young scientists, the greatest fulfillment for yourself and others can be when you locate your contribution within a commitment for the welfare of all global citizens. To achieve this, studying science includes giving time for the history of science. Long before its present contemporary applications, science was as important. And it didn't begin in Europe in the 18th or 19th century. There are many ancient civilizations, and they're worthy of study. And I think it is very important to consider these, very important to look at the opportunity to assess priorities. We are living in circumstances that have given rise to multiple interlocking challenges and indeed crises, existential as in terms of nature itself, rising poverty, deepening inequality and global hunger, catastrophic climate change and biodiversity loss. And in the midst of all of this, the ongoing promulgation of war and an encouraged perception of the impotence of diplomacy. All of these present circumstances are inextricably linked. Indeed, this challenging, even depressing context, it is of both an exciting and a morally challenging time to be a young scientist. Challenging, undoubtedly, but so potentially fulfilling to know that the choices you make will have effects that are important, not just for your own time, but for the very possibility of life in its diverse forms on our shared and vulnerable planet. Science is such an important and influential discipline. As I have said, and I keep emphasizing it, one with a history as old as human thought. Science offers great possibilities that have a pivotal role to play and at its best in responding to the great humanitarian challenges of our time. It has the potential to make an essential contribution to understanding, sustaining, and making our world more fulfilling for us all in peaceful coexistence with nature and each other. The philosopher Pierre Teilhard de Chardin saw this as being achievable, but only through nothing less than a species evolution in human consciousness. For science is never neutral in its purpose or application. How its fruits are used and distributed is one of the tests of our humanity, our shared cultures, our ethics. Science does not seek to offer an absolute universal truth for all time. It does, however, offer a method and methodologically verifiable interpretations that can question certainties, trigger reflections, generate valuable questions. Yes, the fruits of science and its history in our more modern times have revolutionized life, enabling tremendous social change with humankind benefiting from scientific advances in so many areas of life. Yet we must recognize that the misuse of scientific knowledge has been and can be disastrous for us all. Theodor Adorno of the Frankfurt School of Philosophy was maybe one of those earlier scholars to warn of the limitations of science without moral responsibilities. The slow development of science and understanding for the human brain, for example, with its orientation, has been pushed away for authoritarian and short-term application, covertly and overtly, ignoring key emancipatory disciplines, ones that could help us achieve the goal of being able to live together in conditions of mutual respect and peace. These include philosophy, sociology, ethics, and normative economics. I say all this because I believe we are at a turning point, a very important turning point in human history, when we have to say where we stand on the questions we stand for and the answers that are on offer. The alternative is a science without moral compass as to its applications. The use of science as a tool for the acquisition of unaccountable power and influence in a manner that threatens democracy itself. History shows us that when being exercised and practiced in the wrong hands, or funded by those of authoritarian tendency, for insidious purposes, science can produce catastrophic results. Science, for example, can at the present time be employed to generate ever more sophisticated weapons and instruments of death and destruction. Instruments, the availability of which is used to generate fear for populations, while supporting the insatiable drive of the military-industrial complex for profits, even if this is at the cost of undermining democratic accountability through corruption, unaccountable lobbying, bribery in continents where millions are starving and societies are being divided over access to resources for life itself. What a shocking statistic it is that while military expenditure increased for the 9th consecutive year in 2023 to a figure of $2.44 trillion, the highest ever recorded, at the same time the number of people affected by hunger has risen by 200 million globally. It is important that we respond to this use of science and the rhetoric that calls for war as a state of mind, including the recent appalling comments from NATO calling for ever more armament spending to be achieved. This may, we were told, cause pain in the present so as to achieve security in the future, in the words of the Secretary General of NATO, Mr. Rutte. He said that we should have the mentality of war, even at the expense of investing in essentials in education, social protection, and health. We must envisage a respectful engagement with those of different and diverse outlook, and we must all together work for peace, I suggest. All of the international instruments which in the history of humankind have been collectively agreed by a diversity of nations and peoples, are predicated on the possibility of peace. The UNESCO Charter, for example, states that peace begins in the minds of men and women. And this is also the basic foundation of the terms of the European treaties. It is why the European Union was founded, so that we might never again have devastating wars. And we must avoid indifference, or, if you like, a silence to such moral choices. We must be active in seeking a positive science that can yield truly emancipatory shared results for humanity. Science has in recent times, for example, dramatically changed our means of communication, the way we work, our production of food, our methods of transportation, and through medical research and practice, even the length and quality of life itself. Science has, through long hours spent in laboratories, come to our aid with vaccines and responding to pandemics. However, appropriate public transparency and a commitment to cooperate and share science has yet to be achieved as a common practice. And that included even responding to pandemics. What a powerful example, too, of the positive role which science can play in providing irrefutable scientific evidence of climate change. In taking on that responsible role, among its other contributions, science has helped to inform a social, economic, and political debate and movements on the urgent need to replace greenhouse gas emissions and thus remain within the planet's ecological boundaries, protect the Earth and all the life on it from the catastrophic consequences of global warming and biodiversity loss. Such scientists' work has been delivered through our shared United Nations, and support for the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals drew on it. And I think it is something. The goals there must be no retreat from them, and we must all ensure that we offer our support towards, in fact, actually quickening our action so as to achieve the projects that have been agreed. It is important, therefore, not to be indifferent to the responsibilities of science in enhancing a moral consciousness as to the importance of working within an ethical framework, a consciousness that must be central to any scientific endeavour, and one that can help us guide our use and application of scientific discovery. I have faith in the ability of young scientists. This is my final year as president, speaking to the young scientists. But I know from my meetings with them that they are more than willing to work for the benefit of all humanity, beyond any well-earned personal reward. And these are not binary choices. The vulgar depictions of life on offer from those who see scientific innovation as an opportunity to brandish their wealth and power are not regarded as human models to be emulated by the young scientists that I have been meeting over the years, and that is welcome. The vulgarity of it all is for another day. We have so many great models of Irish scientists who pursued science for social betterment. I think of the groundbreaking work of Nobel laureate William C. Campbell from Donegal, whose research on river blindness led to the drug ivermectin, which was made available to all by Merck from 1987, leading 30 years later to 3 billion treatments being delivered and river blindness being eliminated in Central and South America and significantly reduced in Africa. Other Irish scientists whose efforts focused on a social outcome include the late Robert Collis, the Dublin doctor, who pioneered the technique for feeding premature infants via a nasal tube, and who invented a simple but affordable incubator for premature infants. I think of the late Vincent Barry from Cork, who led a medical research team that discovered a compound that ultimately yielded a treatment for leprosy. The work of Dr. Dorothy Stopford-Price is closely associated with the BCG vaccine, which protected against tuberculosis at a time when 16% of deaths in Ireland were attributable to the disease. Drs. Campbell, Collis, Barry and Stopford-Price, they are in the tradition of the great Dr. Jonas Salk, who believed that scientific discoveries should benefit all without borders, state or fiscal. And then too we have the great, a friend of mine, I'm proud to say, the great Shoeborn scientist and author, philosopher, Mike Cooley. He understood what a moral outrage it had become, what a great failure with all the material resources available, that our boundless capacity for creativity and innovation and the fruits of science and technology remain focused in so many parts of the world, not on the ending or the elimination of preventable global hunger or famine, or the promotion and preservation of peace, or indeed on reducing sources of inequality, but rather on the pursuit of ever more deadly technologies as instruments of war. Surely there is an alternative, as Dr. Cooley and others have shown. Surely knowledge and discoveries for sharing and the practice of science and the appropriate delivery of its work through appropriate technology should flow to all, unimpeded by boundaries or income. Science itself, we must never forget, is a method that includes cooperative work, sharing of purposes as well as the joy of discovery, even the particular joy of serendipitous discoveries. We're all paying the price for the absence of that evolved consciousness of which Tyler Judan wrote, a consciousness that would lead to an international politics that enabled the sharing of such scientific and technological discovery. That would have made possible that governments, citizens and corporations work together, cooperate with real meaning and purpose, with the aim of ensuring that the fruits of science and the rewards of technology contribute solutions to the great global social, economic, and ecological challenges that we all face. There is a vital role for ethical science in seeking to advance the possibilities of fulfillment for all that are there beyond the narrow provision of its abuse as being simply a source of wealth for any single individual or corporation. We have had the capacity to eliminate extreme global poverty. Preparing for war has driven it off the agenda. And as I wrote this speech, dear friends, young people, 6 infants under 4 weeks old had died of hypothermia in their tents in Gaza, having been displaced 3 times from places. And the grieving father of twins who had died said, "There were 8 of us, and we had only 4 blankets." Available waterproof tents, food and clothing, over 1.5 million's worth, was present in the region, but organizations were prevented from giving it to starving families in sub-zero conditions. Now is the time, and this, I have a sense, is going to be a decade of great importance in rethinking the relationship between science and society in its multiple manifestations. Young scientists and technologies, yes, there's a great responsibility, but there are ever-increasing opportunities too to give examples of conscientious work and a conscience as to how it will be applied. I said the moral choice that you make will have repercussions for us all. And we all have responsibilities not to remain silent when there are catastrophic outrages of humanitarian law presented in front of us. What encourages me to hope is that I see gathered here again this year not only brilliant young scientists, technologists, full of innovative ideas and creativity, and their teachers and parents, but also people who are interested in becoming enthusiastic global citizens. And all of that bodes well for their giving support and leadership in the achieving of a sustainable and cohesive future, not only on our island, but in the world, and a harmonious existence for life on our vulnerable planet. I look forward to reading in the future of you young scientists being added to the great socially oriented scientists that I have mentioned for the benefit of all, and not only at home, but in the heavily populated continents of the world, in Africa, South America, and Asia. And may I encourage you all to help each other with patience and kindness in your work, and to cooperate in advancing the truly emancipatory potential of science for society and for all of life. May your participation in the Young Scientist further drive your interest and determination to continue to play a role not just in science but in all of the aspects of life, the applications of science and its delivery for the betterment of all on our shared vulnerable planet. Tres liam liv Eliog, gach daltach yn sgolach lach port, agus gach den vi caurach liob, is per gach banach den ta cri, ni wan den blien Natalia chiacht, af den ta cri fort. I so wish you all a very happy new year and health and fulfillment in your work together for the future. Mo bhuicas live, thank you.
Gramila Margaret, Dr. That was a fantastic, stirring speech. And if ever you needed any motivation, I think you've just heard it there in terms of the projects that you're going to be presenting over the next few days. So look, just a couple of things from me. Firstly, can I just get a show of hands, because there's a few kind of nervous-looking faces out there. Can you put your hands up if you've been here before, if you've been at the RDS doing the Young Scientist? Yeah, not a whole lot. Okay. And can you put your hands up if you haven't been? It's your first time. Okay. So for those of you who are worried that you seem to think that everybody else seems to know what's going on here, and you're the one who's sitting there nervously not knowing what's going to happen, then you're not on your own, okay? Well, I'll give you some reasons as to why you should be really relaxed and look forward to the next few days. The first thing is that it is an incredible, and I mean an incredible achievement to be here in the first place. We had over 2,069 entries this year. The most we've had for 8 years. So statistically, for those who are doing the maths, and I'm sure you all get this, it is harder to get to this point, the 550 projects, than it has ever been in the last 8 years. So give yourselves a huge round of applause, please. Yeah. Now, the other thing is, you are going to be the ultimate stars of the show here for the next few days until Saturday, until we close the doors on Saturday evening. There's at least 40,000 people going to come through the front doors there, all paying money to see you and your projects. So think about that. That's like booking out the 3 Arena 4 days in a row. So there's not many bands who could do that, and you're doing that this week. So just, again, reflect on that and give yourselves a round of applause. In our view, in the view of everybody here in BT, you're already winners. And I'm here hosting the event this week with our red coats. You'll see them in the audience and helping you throughout the week. So the judging is another thing that people might feel a little bit anxious about. It's not the exams. It's not your junior cert, your leaving cert. There's another day for that. This is about a conversation about your project, what motivated you, what conclusions you came to, what issues you came up through, what you found out about the project. And the judges will be there judging you 3 times. And okay, maybe the first time you might forget something, you should have said something in a different way. You'll have 2 more chances to do that. And we see this every year. Every year, people come in, they're first judging, they're a little bit nervous, a little bit anxious, and by the 3rd time, it'll be a piece of cake. You'll be doing this in your sleep. Honestly, and we see this, the communications growing every year in your enthusiasm, but also your confidence. And we'll see that process through happening over the next few days. And by Friday evening, we'll know who the young scientists. Imagine the young scientists of 2025 is sitting here in this audience. So, also, it's not all going to be work and talking to judges and talking to our visitors. There'll be plenty of downtime, so you'll have time to get to the special events. And of course, BT put on some events in the evenings, so those of you who can stay around for that, please do, because they're great fun. So remind that. And my last kind of ask of you is this, and point out, we're in BT, we're passionate about equality, diversity, and inclusion. Now, as I said, this process is a very equal process. So everybody gets judged fairly, and there's no favoritism on that front. And you're all interested in STEM, so there's an equality component to this. Diverse, we have 30 counties here representing all of Ireland. So 60% female, 40% male. Go on, the girls. So it certainly busts the myth that girls aren't interested in science. They are, and we see this every year. More girls interested in science than the boys. But again, a gender balance. If we only had that in our technology sector, it would be fantastic. But what I'd like to see is, we've obviously got the new Ireland here, ethnic backgrounds, neurodiversity backgrounds. It's fantastic to see the best of Ireland, the best of the next generation of Ireland, or this generation of Ireland here. But the one thing, that diversity is no use if we don't have inclusion. So my ask of you is that some of you are here from schools, maybe there's 20 or 30 of you here. And some of you may be here from schools, and you might actually not even be a group, you might be an individual on your own. So just look out for people over the next few days, those who are a little bit anxious or kind of sitting on their own. Just reach out to them, have a chat about it, because the one thing that you've all got in common is a passion for science, technology, and your projects are very similar. You'll be in rows that you're doing similar categories and similar interests. So just reach out. And if you don't know how to start the conversation, very simple. what's your project about? What's your project about? And then they might ask you, well, what's your project about? And then the conversation goes. So please look out for each other, be kind to each other, and this week will be a much better experience for that. And you will make friends for life here, believe it or not just in your schools, but in people that you meet. So look forward to it. Really enjoy it, and I guarantee you'll have a blast. Okay, so if you can help me out with a few thank yous. So first I'd like to thank our sponsors, Amgen, Analog Devices, Stripe, RTE, and the Department of Education, and all the sponsors you'll see out in our sponsors event in this tents. You'll see all of the sponsors out there, without whom their support we could not put this on. So a huge round of applause for our sponsors, please. These folks a good round of applause as well. Our judges. There are judges here. There's 85 judges here, and they'll be here giving their time freely this week to have a chat with you over your project. So give the judges a huge round of applause. And finally, get the house lights up a little bit to see all our red coats. Our red coats, our BT red coats, give them a huge round of applause. So, obviously our red coats are here to look after you and give you all the assistance that you need. But they're also here for your health and safety. So if there's any instructions that they're giving you, please obey those instructions. So thank you very much. And lastly, Uachtaráin, we so much appreciate the 14 years. You've been such a key component to the Young Scientists and Technology exhibition. Every year you give us a rousing speech and fill the room with enthusiasm, and again you've done, I think, your best speech ever today as well. So I know it's the end of 14 years, and Sabrina, you've been here with us every year as well, and we just hugely appreciate it. We have a little memento, a little scrapbook, a picture of all of the years, and we'd like it to present to you from all the Young Scientists and from BT.
Thank you much. And now we'll hand it back to Aidan and Roisin. Thank you, Aidan and Roisin. Thank you, Taoiseach. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Uachtaráin, a pleasure. Thank you so much. Sabine, thank you. Cheers, Shay.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Our distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. One final big cheer. Yeah! Well deserved.
So special. 14 years in a row. Amazing.
Yeah.
Every year.
And always wise words, invaluable words we'll take with us. And great words from Shay too, great advice. The only thing I'd say is I don't think you clapped loud enough for the judges. Do you want to do that one again?
Woo!
Just my advice. Just my advice. And can I say, they're not in the room, so they won't hear this, but will the fellow Redcoats please pass this on to the Redcoats who are outside manning the doors in the freezing cold? We appreciate you guys, so please let them know that we're all thinking of them as well while we're all in here. So, we've got some more fun before the work starts. So, fun first, then work. Shay mentioned that the winner or winners of this year's competition are somewhere in this room. Do you want to meet last year's winner and find out what it's all about? Yeah? Let's see how the year has been for him. Please welcome from Limerick, Sean O'Sullivan! Oh, yeah. Welcome back, Sean. Nice to see you.
Welcome back, Sean. How are you?
Excellent.
Right, so now this time last year, you didn't know you were going to be the winner. You were sitting here like everyone else. And you have had an epic year, to say the least. You won here, and then you went on to represent Ireland in the EU contest and came in second place. Talk us through the highlights of your year.
Oh, so many. First of all, I didn't expect to win whatsoever. The quality of projects here is phenomenal. I should say that out of everybody that applied, you are in the 26% that even got here in the first place, and that is unbelievable. The energy here is palpable. So, I guess early in the year, one of the biggest highlights was getting to be the Limerick Grand Marshal for the St. Patrick's Day Parade. Then I was able to represent my project at Europol, and of course UC's. And UC's wasn't just great. I left UC's on such a high that, like, going back to school and back to studies, it was lovely. But like, it was so nice being able to message all of the people that I'd met there. You're surrounded by people from all over the world, not just Europe, but Japan, Canada, and even China. And these people are all, if not more, equally if not more interested in science as you are. And they're all so passionate about their projects. And that was the standout moment for me, absolutely.
So you've made friends for life along the way.
Oh, absolutely.
Alrighty, and leaving cert this year?
Yes, I'm currently, I'll be doing them in the hotel room later. 3 different projects. I have computer science, engineering, and DCG, and of course I have my mocks in a month and then my exams, but they'll be fun.
It's too easy for you, Sean.
So-
I'm sure it's too easy.
So you're here, but you brought the work with you?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a multitasker.
I guess that's one of the reasons he stood on this stage holding the trophy last year. So last year, this day last year, let's say, you were sat out there and you saw us on stage with the previous winners, and we asked them, what advice do you have for this year's students? Did you take any of that advice on board? What was that advice, and would you like to add to that?
I can't remember what their advice was. So,
Listen, everybody.
but I have 2 things that I think are really important. Firstly, when you're talking with the judges, they're on your side, and they just want to see you do your best. So when you're talking about your project, it's important that you have a narrative that you can tell about it. And imagine that you have these like sentences or like key islands that you have to reach in order to describe your project effectively. But be able to tell that to people in varying levels of depth depending on their expertise in that area. So that's the first piece. And then the second piece I would say is just please talk to the person that's like in the stands beside you, across from you. I've made friends for life through that.
Amazing.
Wonderful. Great advice.
What a great year you've had. And so, as Aidan was saying there, someone else is going to have that year now. So are you slightly jealous, or are you happy it's over?
Not at all. They're going to have an unbelievable, busy, incredible, and exhausting year. It's going to be fun.
Memorable time.
Well, thank you
Brilliant.
so much for being with us, Sean, and best of luck with all those projects.
Our
in the lead
2024
cert.
winner, Sean O'Sullivan. Love your jacket. Thank you, Sean. Thanks for being
Sean.
with us.
Well
Cheers, pal.
done.
Good luck with the mocks.
Oh, I'm sweating.
No bother.
All those projects and the leaving cert and mocks, I'm literally sweating. But anyways, would you like to have some music, maybe?
Yeah.
Would we like to have a little boogie?
All right, Granny.
Yeah, a
a little boogie.
A little boogie. So we're going to welcome onto the stage someone who recently played at the 2FM Rising stage at Other Voices, whose latest release, her debut EP, The Fine Art of Disassociation, came out in November 2024. The lead single, Dear Diary, I Want to Die, landed on the Spotify New Music Friday and All Pop editorial and was chosen as the RTE 2FM Track of the Week. Can we give a huge warm welcome to Chubby Cat?
Chubby Cat.
name's Chubby Cat. Thanks for having me. Thanks for listening to me. I'm really bad at science. I think it's really cool, but I'm really bad at it. So I'm going to sing you another song instead. That song was called Big Dog Barking, by the way. My name's Chubby Cat. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Chubby Cat. Wasn't she fantastic?
Thank you very much. That was awesome. Listen to that all day.
I like
Brilliant.
that little segue across there.
I thought you were getting into your trouble. Let's not go there. Right, we're back on stage really just to wish you a final goodbye for now. Wish you the best week ahead. And of course, we will see you again on Friday. We have one or two or several dozen awards to give out, including the big one, the BT Young Scientists and Technology or GIST exhibition winners for 2025. Or winner. All will remain to be seen. You've been given the advice. You don't need to hear any more from us. Have a fabulous time. These are really special days for you guys. Make the best of it. Make the most of it. Do your best when you see the judges. And we'll see you all here again on Friday. Roisin?
Yeah, we just want to thank, obviously, Uachtar Nahiran, Michael D. Higgins. Wasn't he fantastic? Let's give him a huge warm round of applause again. He was absolutely fantastic, as he always is. A huge thank you to Sean O'Sullivan, our 2024 winner, for returning and for giving you that advice. And also, as Shay said, to our redcoats who worked so hard throughout the week, so thank you to all of them. Now, there's lots of entertainers and scientists who are going to be on this stage during the week to entertain you all and to show you some fantastic projects that they've been working on. And one of our favourites is about to join you on stage. Please welcome Mark the Science Guy, and we will see you here on Friday. Gajishin Slongafol, Kermagi.
See you then, folks. Have a great week. Thank you guys so much. Guys, can we please give...